outcomes framework. I'm currently consulting, Chair, on a new draft police and crime plan. As part of this consultation, I'll review the measures used to track progress against these priorities.
Thank you. Mr Mayor, may I say, mentioning the London Policing Board in front of all of us is like a red rag to a bull, because none of us, all parties, are not happy about that at the moment. I've been really pleased to hear, in response to lots of questions, you talk, and you always have done, about keeping Londoners safe being your top priority. Tough on crime, tough on the causes of crime. But we can't expect our police officers to keep us safe if we don't give them the resources that they need. And I've only had a very brief look at the budget, because it only came out at 5 o'clock last night. But still, it looks like we're going to lose 1,287 police officers. The Metropolitan Police cannot afford to lose those officers.
Well, I say in a respectful way, it's almost like the members landing from Mars and not been in London for the last 14 years. So over the last 14 years, we've seen a £1.1 billion cuts from central government. And the point the Commissioner makes is you can't close the gap anymore with efficiencies. And what's happened over yesterday and today, but also over the last few weeks, this year the government's announcing the biggest increase the police has received from core funding in any year since 2010. By the way, it's the first time since 2010 we've had a Labour government. I've announced overnight that I'll be using maximum powers that I can to increase the police in precept. So the police will receive, after, if that goes ahead, and as Senator Deval said, it's still a long way to go before that budget is approved, £1.149 billion from City Hall, more than doubling what they've received since 2016. So we're doing what we can from City Hall and with this new government, but no one budget is going to reverse the massive cuts over the last 14 years.
Mr Mayor, your new government has crashed the economy. Yeah. Absolutely crashed the economy, so don't give me that.
Said with a straight face.
Yeah, completely. You ask people out there, they're not at all happy. Talk to pensioners, talk to farmers. I could go on, but I'm going to talk about policing, because I care about policing. I care about the Metropolitan Police. I am very, very concerned that they're going to lose 1,287 members of staff or frontline officers. They cannot afford to do that. If we want to keep them safe, if we want to look at our key performance indicators to see how they're doing, we've got to do that, bearing in mind they're going to lose so many staff. Within the London plan that the Police and Crime Committee have been looking at, the Police and Crime plan, and by the way, we have asked all members if they would like to come to that plan and listen to what Londoners say, then they would hear a broader view on that particular plan. We've been looking at that plan, and you say very, very clearly in the plan that you're going to be very transparent and accountable. So I asked you this question last week, and you found every which way but not to answer it. Just how many grooming gangs have we got in London?
So the situation in London in relation to young people being groomed is different to other parts of the country. So what we have in London is young people being groomed, use your words, not mine, to be using county lines. In relation to sometimes...
Okay, let me make it clear. Sorry, I wasn't clear enough. I was told I shouldn't be saying rape gangs. They are rape gangs. I'm talking about rape gangs. I'm not talking about country lines. But to go back, nobody likes me saying rape gangs, although they are rape gangs. Grooming gangs that I would call rape gangs. Tell me about them. How many of those have we got? Not country lines, those particular groups.
To avoid any misunderstanding, can she define what she means by that?
Yes, if you look at what's gone on in Rotherham, where there are people taking young girls, grooming them for sex, that is what I'm talking about.
We know in London there are issues about exploitation of young people, but they're not as defined by the member in her definition of what those types of gangs are.
So are you saying we haven't got the same sort of gangs that are in Rotherham, Bradford and lots of other places in the country?
Just for your misunderstanding, what does she mean by that?
You know full well what I mean by that. It's all over the television. You know exactly what I mean by that. These gangs of people that are grooming young girls for sex. Do we actually have those in London?
Today we need to give a full answer. Can she be clear what she means by that? I'm not clear what she means.
How much clearer do you want me to be? Look at the gangs that they've uncovered in other parts of the country. Do we have those gangs in London? It's a simple question. The answer is very simple. It's yes or no. I'm not asking you where those gangs are because the police might not want them to be disclosed. I'm asking you, do we have those sort of gangs in London?
I'm not sure why she's so nervous to say what she means. What do you mean?
No. I'm saying exactly what I mean. I'm saying, have we got any of those grooming gangs in London?
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out. Are you not listening? It's the sort of gangs that groom young girls at a young age for sex. Exactly how much clearer do you want me to be?
So we do have issues in London with young girls being groomed for county lines. Some of those girls are used for sex. And that's one of the reasons why I've set up things like the Lighthouse, funded by City Hall, why we've set up 4 hubs to help survivors of child sexual abuse, why we're investing in London's Violence and Exploitation Support Service, why I commissioned the HMI to look into the issue of child exploitation, why the Met Police Service now employs 1,200 child protection officers, while we have Operation Soteria, first begun in London, while we're the only police force that began the V100, targeting the 100 most violent
I just
young
asked
people.
a yes-no question. So approximately how many of these gangs that I am talking about, that I do not know why you don't understand the sort of gangs I'm talking about, exactly, or approximately, I should say, to give you leeway, approximately how many of those gangs have we got in London? Because the public is very, very rightfully concerned about this and concerned about these young women.
Well, I'm still none the wiser why she's so nervous about saying what she means. But in London, we have V100, which are the 100 most prolific, dangerous people the police target. That number goes up and down. So 1 month the V100 may be 120 people, or 1 month there may be 80 people, and each BCU has a localised V number. So when I was in Croydon a few weeks ago, the V number wasn't 100, it was a bit below. But as they reminded me, people can sometimes go in that list or out that list.
Thank you. Chairman, I was very clear in what I was talking about. I just don't understand what it is that the Mayor wants me to say that's any different. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Assembly Member Polanski.